We're going to start in the back of the book on page 155, and we're going to look at conditional and conjunction clauses, what we were talking about with if sentences. So they don't call it if sentences because they're not all with if. Some of them are with when, or in case, or unless, or as soon as. But they all follow the same rule and the same pattern. And what they start with is one that we use the least. It's very often called the zero conditional. And that's about something that happens every time. We're not just thinking about one time, we're thinking about every time. So, for example, if the battery is low, the red light flashes. That could be a machine. If the red light is flashing, that means that the ink is low. If you've finished the exam, you can leave. The present tense on both sides. These examples, of course, also include present simple, flashes, like every time. Is flashing at this particular moment, and then what it means, that's a state verb, so that's never going to have an ing form anyway. Or even, of course, present perfect, if you have finished the exam, you can leave. Okay, but that's not thinking of a specific time, that's thinking about every time, something that happens every time. Okay, if you run more and eat less, you lose weight. Now, if we're thinking about giving you some advice, if you run more and eat less, you will lose weight. That's also grammatically possible. There's just a slight difference in meaning because now we're thinking about this is something that you personally could do, not that happens every time. The you in the first one, it means people. Yeah. If people eat less and exercise more, they lose weight. It's a fact. Okay. If you run more and eat less, you will lose weight, is saying, yeah, that's specific to you and it's a real thing. Last time we talked about real and unreal situations. These first two are all about real situations. We've also got the classic if first conditional, which is talking about something that's possible in the future. If you don't listen, you won't know what to do. We're going to be late if we don't leave now. Okay, so you can use will or you can use going to in the half that doesn't contain if. You can also use the modal verb in either half. If I can, I'll call you later tonight. If it gets any colder, it might snow. And it says, as above, we can use any present tense with the if clause and any future form, going to, will, future continuous, future perfect, or a modal verb with the main clause. Yeah, sounding a bit complicated now, isn't it? So we can put them in either half. So we can say, if you're late, you'll get into trouble. But we can also say you'll get into trouble if you're late. And the only difference is if we begin with the main clause, that's the one with the subject of the sentence in it, you will get into trouble, then we don't have a comma in the middle. But if we start with the conditional clause, the if clause, if you're late, you'll get into trouble, there's that comma in the middle. Conjunctions such as unless, in case, as long as, and time conjunctions such as when, as soon as, while before, etc., are all followed by a present tense. So yeah, in case it rains, unless I call you, as soon as I've heard, or you could say as soon as I hear any news. I'll be waiting for you when you arrive. Not I will be waiting for you when you will arrive. Okay, so don't put the will in both halves. Remember, if and will make you ill. Yeah, the if half doesn't contain will. Now, there are some exercises on the right side of the page. You've got to choose which one is the correct option. What I want you to do now is leave or look at your book or leave the screen on pause, and I'm going to show the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, stop the video, 1. Here they come. You might want to pause that again so that you can check your answers. And now we're going to look at the exercise at the bottom. You've got to choose which word is the correct one for each of these. Okay. Again, I'm going to scroll down. You can look at it in the back of your book. And then I'm going to put the answers up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here they come again. As soon as, while, once, which means as soon as, So we could say, I'll be ready to leave once I've sent these emails would also work, okay? And as long as. Okay, so A and B, you could swap those two over. 3, in case you're doing something to make plans in case something goes wrong. Unless means if not, or as long as there isn't. And let me know when you arrive, okay? And the last one, I'll lend you the money as long as you can pay me back. No problem, I'll pay you back as soon as I can get to a cash machine. Okay, that's that one done.